A multimodal severe threat is imminent today. Very intense thunderstorms, severe weather, tornadoes, hail, 3-inch hail is possible in parts of southern Texas. And you can see here, and that's what we're going to go over today, the severe weather threat, and then dive a little bit deeper into technical aspects of it and show timing and different things for different areas here as we go through the day today, trying to give you all the best information possible here. So the latest update from the SPC shows a enhanced risk down here in parts of south central Texas, all the way into southern Texas to Del Rio, to Wichita Falls, also up towards parts of Missouri here, southeastern Iowa, parts of Illinois, Indiana here. Okay, larger slight risk surrounding it, all the way up to Arkansas, Indiana, Ohio, back towards Kansas here and parts of Iowa, and a sliver of Wisconsin as well, and a larger marginal risk surrounding it. So what's driving these threats? Well, strong tornadoes are possible anywhere within this hatched area here, EF2 or higher. But the biggest risk for tornadoes as far as density goes is in this yellow area here, where we have the 15% risk, okay? So the way the SPC outlooks work now, this is all significant Sig1, right? So the reasonable max intensity for tornadoes with this is 2%, which could occur anywhere in this stippled region, okay? Even if you're in the 2% area, you could have a strong tornado here, although less likely. And a smaller area here on the outer edge where they could have a tornado, but not likely as strong. So going to wind. Highest wind probabilities up to hurricane force down here in parts of central Oklahoma, especially in the Texas here. We have a 30% wind risk of hurricane force wind gusts. Okay, in the yellow area we have the slight risk of high winds. It would be the 50 knot winds potential, and then outside of this you have a smaller 2% high wind risk here as well. And then your hail risk. This is a big one too. It pretty much encompasses the same area as the tornado risk, right? But down to the south here in Texas, you see the slashes. That indicates a potential for 3-inch hail or bigger here. Okay, so yeah, so that's category 2 here, which is 3-inch hail or greater in diameter. So this could really damage crops if there's any planted, which I don't think they are, but livestock, vehicles, houses, roofs, things like that. So so we have a tornado risk, which is biggest up here, and we have our hail risk. I would say the chances for the strongest tornadoes are up to the north here, and chances for the largest hail is down to the south. So let's not forget that we also have a chance of a slight risk of flooding here. We got flooding potential today down here in the same general areas where have the highest severe risk. So you know, be mindful of that as well, spanning all the way from southern Texas all the way up to central Ohio here. So in addition to the severe weather, we really are getting hammered today with multi-threats here. So let's keep that in mind. It's not just the severe weather, it's also flooding risk, right? Into tomorrow, the flooding risk moves further to the east and south here, focused on towards Bryan, Texas, here into parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, with a larger, excuse me, I getting ahead of myself, larger marginal risk going in parts of Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, and Oklahoma as well. So when we look at the overall flow pattern here for the severe weather threat for today, we have our 500 millibar cutoff low down here to the south. We have a general west to east flow up here, zonal flow to the north. And move through the time of this, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. This starts off at, let's see, this is the 06Z run, right? So this goes out a little bit further. That's why I'm using this run, but it's pretty accurate right now. So got this low diving through here to the south. digs a little bit here, right? And you got this trough up to the north here. Okay, this is 6 a.m. already tomorrow. Let's go back to like around 9 p.m., right? Trough ejecting out to the west, the east here. And you're going to have a surface low developing up here as well, okay? And if we look at the surface, see the surface low already developing 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 1 p.m. Showers and storms already kicking off here in Texas with as part of that upper low. There may be a surface low developing down here as well. See that surface low in Colorado here. See the surface low up in the Midwest here. And on the northern side, you have snow, right? Severe weather starting to pick up here. And I'll go over a little more details with this in a minute, but I want to show you the surface features. Where the surface low gets going, the most vorticity is in place, okay? And so that will be one of the contributing factors to the highest potential for storm tornadoes up here. All right, so you see the different areas of storms that the HRRR wants to get going here. This is overnight into 3 a.m. We just got a lot of different showers and storms going on along this line into the east of the line. And the northern edge of this, we have frozen precip with some freezing rain and sleet up here to the north. And on the backside of this, we have snow, right? And we go a little bit further out to tomorrow. This is 11 a.m. tomorrow. Heavy rainfall on the where this cold front is, and maybe severe weather again tomorrow. And we'll talk about that in tomorrow's forecast. But I want to focus on today, okay? And let's go back to today. All right, so let's look at the different areas here, the timing and where we think everything's going to initiate, things like that. So we often talk about the moisture in the atmosphere as an important factor in severe weather, right? And you see dew points here, 60, 70-degree dew points. Most of the time in the normal elevations here, not higher terrain, dew points of 60 degrees or higher usually gives a good indication that we can have severe weather in this area with other factors involved. Okay, so very unusual this time of year. I have dew points in the 60s, so it'll be feel very muggy out there today. Okay, so wherever this moisture overlaps, the best other severe ingredients, shear, lift, and just overall energy. The the moisture in the atmosphere is the energy that we need. Um, as far as thermodynamics, and then the wind is the kinematics part. So you got to have all those ingredients overlap to get severe weather, and we definitely have that here today. So you see how this moisture streams to the north as this low pressure moves to the east. You have a dry line Pacific front setting up here as well. So along that area, you can see the dew points move further to the east. A 60-degree dew point line moves to the east here. So that's a good indication where the dry area here is in the brown. Moving on to the timing for the deep south here. Okay, so this is as of 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 7 a.m. Showers and storms firing up in the south already this morning, this afternoon, excuse me, with that mid-level feature moving through, okay? Right, this is 5 p.m. Already getting some storms here in parts of Texas, and they blow up here after that, right? You have, looks like maybe right along the dry line here, just some intense supercells, cellular type structures, and some to the east here, okay? This and to the north here in parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, okay? Rotating storms. So where these storms do develop, they could be very intense. So let's look at a sounding here just in Texas and see what it looks like to the east of this. Pretty impressive profile here. Wow. There's some contamination here, but you look at the storm relative helicity values, 522 meters squared per second squared. There was a slight capping here inversion that it looks like is overcome, although the LFC and LCL are still far apart here. You see the hodograph, although it's a little bit wonky at the mid levels. Tornado, um, and hail. This is mostly a hail. You see the drier air aloft here. So the tornado threat, even though it shows it to be higher, see the D cape, the downdraft cape. These are mostly going to be downdraft, I would say, driven, okay, because of the drier air aloft. Steep lapse rates, so you can see why the severe threat is so high down here as well with the hail, okay, so very dry air aloft. Tornado threat won't be as high down here because of that. So, you know, if it's downdraft dominated, tornadoes are not likely, but it's still possible here. Now we move through the day into the evening. This is overnight, right? 10 p.m., 1 a.m. Storms move to the east. Eastern Texas, Arkansas, Missouri here overnight and tomorrow morning. This is 7 a.m. So by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, the storms, if you live in eastern Texas, the storms will be moving out. Doesn't look like they'll be as severe. Okay, so that's it for the deep south here. So if you go to the north here, we start this off. There's not a lot going on in the morning, right? The atmosphere is getting primed for when this low pressure develops. You can see supercells here with the updraft helicity swath already showing up here by 7 p.m. So this is mostly going to be a nighttime event. And at nighttime, you get the low-level jet ramping up here as well. It increases the vorticity at the surface. So some lake boundaries effects as well. Maybe outflow boundaries here are contributing to this. So let's take a look at the sounding here real quick. This is just the indication of the atmosphere and how well it'll be primed for tornadoes. All right, so you see the LCL and LFC are close to each other. The hodograph, although not that elongated at this point, I think this will increase. Plenty of atmospheric instability and curvature here. Although those supercells may be a little bit small here to start with. Let's go back and take a look at this further on. So take the sounding off. More storms firing here along the Great Lakes and to the west here as well. So that surface low is really developing that low-level jet. Kind of congeals into a line eventually. So all the way back to Illinois and Missouri and Kansas here as well. And parts of northern Oklahoma. This is 11 p.m. Moving to the east, you're going to have strong storms moving through Michigan overnight tonight and points to the south here. Maybe still some rotating storms here in the southern part of this system. Looks like an MCS type feature here. Okay. And the storms kind of calm down a little bit here as we get towards the morning hours, which isn't surprising. Okay. Maybe another round of storms moving through the area in the Midwest and the Central Plains here as we get into the morning hours, but not likely to be severe given the atmosphere is pretty worked over at this point. So definitely a lot going on here, and be weather aware and pay attention to your local alerts and warnings. Have multiple ways to receive alerts here, and you'll be well prepared for this, considering we just had a really bad tornado come through here a few days ago. So as we go through the day today, I may post an update in the middle of the day with this severe weather and giving updates as necessary here on social media. Please subscribe to my channel here. That way you can get the daily updates that I post. I do a video almost every day, regardless of the conditions, whether they're severe or not. So I put a lot of time in these videos. I hope y'all get something out of it. And leave any comments or suggestions in the comments below. I appreciate y'all. Be safe out there, and God bless.